Hello, sir. Today we're going to present you about our company, which is TEENTECH Office Network, which we're going to talk about our office network. And we are from CS 230 Section 2. And our team member have Leangsiv, Natepy, and me is Vansing. And next slide, please. And he is our table content, which we have 5 points. First one is introduction. The second one is network topology. Uh, the third one is network operation description in TCP. The fourth is implementation and configuration, and five is about the overall points. Next slide, please. Uh, for the first point is talking about introduction. Next slide, please. The first one is Cambodia is a developing country where it's widely open and welcome for the startup company, and therefore our team decided to choose TeamTech as a company that focusing on the software industry. That it is a startup company that composed of three department, which is have a admin IT department, compute customer service department, finance HR departments. And next slide, please. And here is our end device and network device that we we are required to have, such as one router, one switch, three access point device, which is uh, talking about the server that it connecting between each device, three printer, three desktop, three laptop, three smartphone, and three tablet. Next slide, please. And also, our main goal to succeed is we need to choose a network topology building three subnetwork connecting all the device in the device, configure the HCP server for the dynamic and automatic IP address, um, config a web server and DNS server connection is verified or has been tested, and configure the switch and router for the remote access. And next slide, please. And also for our achievement is all the end device like laptop and PC will connect to each other. The ability to access internal tool and the system from this laptop and device boosts productivity and efficiency of the company in each department. The management of the company will be easier and save amount of time, save both financial in the long run. The information sharing across company will be protected, and also the switch and router from the remote place be using the SSH to ensure the connection. And now let's move to my friend Leangsiv. He's going to explain you and describe you more about point number two.
Now on point two, I will talk about network topology. After the discussion, our team decided to use topology for connecting our devices. We can describe that there are three departments. The green area is IT department. This department has a set of devices including one tablet, one laptop, one PC, and one printer, and also one smartphone too. All the devices are connected to access point 1. The access point is a device that create a wireless local area network, or while WLANs usually is an office or large building. It connect to the switch, the FA 0/2 port using the extranet cable. Extranet is a network protocol that control how data is transmitted over a LAN, and it's referred to as IEEE 802.3 protocol. And the red area, the red highlight is customer service. It is similar to the admin or IT department. This department also has a set of devices, including two tablet, two laptop, two PC, two printer, and two smartphone. All the devices are connected to access point 2, which is connected to the switch FA0/3 port. And the goal highlight one is finance or HR department. This department including three tablets, three laptops, three PCs, three printer, and three smartphone. All these devices are connecting to access point 3, which is connecting to the switch FA0/4 port. The switch is the central device in this star topology. It is received from any device connected to it and then transmit the message only to the device for which the message was mean. This make the switch a more intelligent device than a hub, which receive a message from the transmit is to all another device in the department. The switch is connected to the route FA0/1 port. Um, and the router is the device that route the data packet between different networks. It does this by using header and forwarding table to determine the best path for forwarding the data packet. Each department has its own VLAN ID and IP range. VLAN stands for Virtual Local Area Network. It's a logical grouping of devices that appear to be on the same LAN even if they are on the separate IP subnet. This helps to improve network efficiency and security. In short, this device, the star topology, provides us a feature if one device or connect doesn't affect the other. It also allows each department to operate independently while still being connected to the central network. The use of access point ensure wireless connectivity for tablet, smartphone, with their representative area. The printer are presumably networked wirelessly or wire depending on their location and model. The switch and router work together to manage traffic efficiency and maintain optimal network performance. Here are the estimate price of the end devices and network component are. One switch costs around $1,500, one router costs around $850, and three access point device costs $60, and each of them costs $20, depend on the market and depend on the brand too. And three printer costs $4,500, each costs $1,500 and it's also depend on the brand and the quality too. Three tablet costs 1,200 and each costs $400. Three smartphone costs $750 and each costs $250. Three PC costs $3,000 and each costs $1,000. And three computer costs 3,000 and each costs $1,000. The estimated total cost price is 14,860. Based on this project, the network that we built can support about 16 devices. Similarly, this network aims to an efficient network and productivity of the team from each department and employee inside the company can access internal websites and share information throughout the network with a high security and reliability. So now let's move on to my friend Tipi. She will introduce you the next point.
Thank you. So right now I'm going to present you about the point number three, which is network operation description in TCP or IP model. Next slide, please. So with this point, we are going to demonstrate each operation of this network in TCP or IP model. In this case, we use an access point that also acts as a DHCP server. When a device connects to the AP, the DHCP server assigns it an IP address automatically. This process involves a series of steps such as DHCP discover, DHCP offer, DHCP request, and DHCP acknowledgement. And here how it works. So the first step, I will talk about the device connection. Each device, as my friends have mentioned, we have tablet, laptop, PC, printer, and also smartphone. in each department, such as admin or IT, customer service, and finally is finance or HR department. They all connect to its respective access point, AP1, AP2, and AP3 wirelessly. This is the first step in establishing a network connection. The device use wireless protocol like IEEE 802.11 to establish this connection. So the next step, I'm going to talk about the IP assignment. Once these devices are connected to the access point, the DHCP server on the access point assign IP address to this device dynamically. It could be done through the HCP messages, discover offer, request, and acknowledgement. This dynamic of IP address simplify network management and could allow device to join or leave the network. Another step is access point to switch connection. So the access points are to specific ports on the switch, like switch 0, using Ethernet cables. For example, AP1 is connected. We are the FAO2 port. This wire connection is clearly faster and more reliable than a wireless connection. It's allow data to be transferred from the wireless device to the rest of the network. Another point that I'm going to talk about is switch operation. So the switch use MAC address to learn and forward data frames across the network efficiently. It maintains a MAC address tables and use this table to decide where to forward incoming frame. If the destination device is connected to the switch, the frame is sent directly to the device. If not, the frame is forwarded to the appropriate access point. And number 5 is about VLAN configuration. So they are applied on the switch. Each department has its own VLAN ID and IP rank, and I'm going to show to you when I am demo on Cisco. So this logical separation of networks, it will improve security as it prevents unnecessary data flow between departments. It also improves network efficiency by reducing broadcast traffic. And another point is about router connection. So the router, like router 0, is connected to FAO1 port on switch route data packet between different network for VLANs. This is necessary when a device from one VLAN need to communicate with a device from other VLAN. Last but not least, about how it works is about the routing. So the routing use header and forwarding tables to determine the optimal path for forwarding data packets. This ensure efficient use of network resources and minimize network congestion. That's it for how it works. So next slide, please. I'm going to talk about the web server and DNS server. So the web server and DNS server to ensure it could access the internal website. The web server is a server that hosts the internal website and responds to requests from clients. It is connected to the network and can be accessed by device within the network using its IP address. The web server communicates using the HTTP or HTTPS protocols. When a device want to access the internal website, it sends a request to the web server. The web server then responds with the request web page. Additionally, the DNS, or we can call the domain name system server, is like the phone book of the network. It translates domain name to IP address. This is crucial or important because although domain names are easy for people to remember, computer or machine access website based on IP address. For example, when a device wants to access the internal website using its domain name, the request is sent to the DNS server first. The DNS server then translates the domain name into an IP address and directs the request to the correspond web server. As you can see how it works down below. So the user will request to the web browser and then the DNS server and IP address, and it will respond. Next slide, please. So the next point, I'm going to talk about the switch and router CLI secure remote management by using SSH. So the first point, it would be secure configuration. So we use it to ensure that a switch or router is remotely and secure. We have to configure it to support SSH connections. This involves generating um, cryptographic key that will be used for encryption and decryption of the SSH traffic. Moreover, we have to set up user authentication, authentic- sorry, authority to make sure only the user can access the device. And the next point is about SSH connection. So, once the switch or router is configured or connected for SSH, you can use an SSH client to establish the secure connection. The client will use the cryptic key to create a secure channel over which command can be sent to the device. Another point is about command execution. So after a secure connection is established or public, you can execute commands on the switch or router by its command line interface, or we know as CLI. These commands allow you to manage the configuration of the device, monitor its status, and troubleshoot any issue. Last but not least, it's about the session termination. When you are done managing the device, you can terminate the SSH session. The sexual channel will be closed and the SSH client and server will no longer be able to communicate until a new session is established. So whenever the first of the SSH connection, it will follow by that the client app first connect to the TCP with the switch or router. The server is immediately respond, acknowledge the connection request. An ACK packet will be sent by the client to confirm the connection. The client and router or switch will share the secret key for message decryption. The client and web server will start communicating with each other by sending encrypt message. That's it for the point three. So next slide, please. I'm going to talk about the point four, which talk about the implementation and configuration. Next slide. So, in order to set up the network and HCP server, as the earlier section, we have just discussed how this project is built. Three networks, one for the admin or IT department, one for the customer service, and another one is for the finance or HR department. In order to achieve that, we are going to set one router uh, connected to only one switch, and then the switch will be connected to device access points as we already described in the network topology and as you can see in the slide. So let's move on and over. Yeah. So now let's move on to how I connect switches to all the device. Since the network use a star topology, each department like admin or IT, customer service, finance or HR has devices like tablet, laptop, PC, printer, and smartphone are connected to an access point. These access point are connected to a central switch by different fast Ethernet interface. The switch is connected to a router which manages data packet between networks. Each department has its own VLAN ID. As you can see, the admin VLAN is 10. Um, the customer service, the VLAN is 20, and finance is 30. And it also have their own IP range for efficient network management. The image it already show you about the physical connection. Next slide, please. So, um, so here is about the config edge access point device. Um, So before we jump into that, I just want to talk about some rules like the network ID, broadcast ID, host rank, and subnet mask. How can we devise it to those three subnet networks? So first of all, I just want to give some definition. So network ID, it is identifier for the network. All the device in the same network share this ID. For the broadcast ID, it used to send data to all device in the network. And if a device send a message to this address, all device in the network receive it. Host range, it is the range of addresses that can be assigned to device, also known as hosts in the network. Last but not least, it's about the subnet mask. This determines the size of the network. It separates the IP address into network and host address. So the first subnet network, as we discussed, it was admin or IT department. We give it 64 CP, so it will have 6 bits. So in that 6 bits, we can say that their network ID is 900 192.168.1.0/26. The broadcast ID is 192.168.1.63. Host rank would be from 192.168.1.1 to 192.168.1.62. And the subnet mask, we will get 254 minus 62. So it will equal to 192. So it will be 255.255.255.192. And for the second subnet network, it's about finance or HR department. The network ID will continue from the previous one. So we will start with 192.168.1.64/26, and the broadcast ID will be the last one. So it will be 192.168.1.127. The host rate will be from 192.168 1.65 to 192.168 1.126. The subnet mask is the same. It will be 255.255.255.192. Last but not least, about the third subnet network, it is customer department. So it it's quite familiar, so it will continue. The network ID will be 192.168.1.128 and slash 26. As all of the subnet network, we give them 64 PC. So the broadcast of this third subnet network will be 162.168.1.191. The hash rate will be from 192.168.1.129 to 192.168.1.19. It overall it is 62 devices that we can use, and the subnet mask will be 255.255.255.192. It is the same. And as you can see, the server will have the following configuration, and we will start with the access point. And for this access point, we use the port 1 to make the change. In this image, as you can see, for the SSID, we rename it to admin Wi-Fi. And we also, the PSK passphrase, we set it to admin at 123. Next slide, please. So I just want to add previous one. You will have to add it to another two subnet mask for the finance and or the customer as well. And for this part, it's about the config the router. So in this part, we want to configure the DHCP, and we are going to open the CLL in the router and write this command. As you can see, first of all, we try to get into the HCP by write the command service V8, and then you will have to write service D8 CP, and you can write PDHC, and after that IPDHCP PO, which it means pool, because all of them have different pool. And moving on, you will start with the admin pool, as I give the example in this slide. And we set the network 192.168.1.0, and the subnet mask will be 255.255.255.192. And we will have to default the router as well, which is 192.168.1.1. And then we will also connect to the DNS server, which is 192.168.1.1. And then the domain name will be admin.com. And after that, you have to exit. So the brief about the description of this process is that the DHCP service, the router is set up to provide DHCP service, which is automatically assign IP address to device of the network. And the admin pool, DHCP pool name admin pool is created. And this is the range of IP address that the router will assign to the device. And the network address and subnet mask I just told you at 192.168.1.0, and subnet mask 255.255.255.192. And yeah, that's it. So the result, can you move to the next slide? So this is the result for the PC. As you input the TCP, it will automatically reload your IP address, which is 192.168.3, and subnet mask is 255.255.255.192. The default gateway is 192.168.1 and .1. DNS server is 192.168. and .1. Slides, please. And this is the result for the printer. So the HCP also generate their IP address as well. It will from 192.168.1. And that mask is 255.255.255.192. Next slide, please. And this is the configure the result for the smartphone. So the DHCP also automatically assign the IP address and the full gateway DNS server, as you can see. For the IP address, it is 192.168.1.4. Subnet mask is 255.255.255.192. The default gateway is 192.168.1.1. DNS server is 192.168.1 and .1. Next slide, please. So this is the tablet. So it quite similar. So the IP address is 192.168.1.6, and subnet mask is 255.255.255.192. The full gateway is 192.168.1. And DNS server is 192.168.1.1. Next slide, please. So last but not least is about the laptop. The DHCP also automatically assign the IP address is 12.168.1.5 2.5. Subnet mask is 255.255.255.192. The default gateway is 192.168.1.1, and DNS is 192.168.1. So the result that I just show you guys, it was all about in the admin subnet network. And we can also ping to each other from different departments as well. It's like this. Uh, it's like yeah. Here is the ping result that I ping from admin or IT department to the customer. Next slide, please. So the last point that I'm going to talk in this point 5, I will talk about setting up webs and DNS server. So as we have discussed a lot about the HCP will automatically access the network address for this pool that I give the example is about the so it will be 192.168.1.0 and the subnet mask is like 255.255.255.192. And as you can see in the picture, the wireless network name have three CS Wi-Fi, admin Wi-Fi, and finance. As we only have them once, so it equal to 1 1. And additionally, for the ad, I mean, at the bottom right there, a wireless and notebook adapter, it indicating the hardware used for wireless connection. This interface allows user to monitor the status of available network, view detailed information about each network and manage their connection. It's very important or crucial tools for network management to ensure that the connectivity and efficient use of network resources. So that's it. So let my friend conclude what we have presented, guys.
So, thank you, DP, for present. And going to my point is point number 5, which is about the overall point. Next slide, please. In the overall point is we're going to talk about the all the process that our office can be like it will be improve the productivity efficiency of the company and also for the employee, and this project is designed for the startup company like us, and which is called the TEENTECH, and also it will have a 16 device that can support each other and allow the employee to share information across the network with a high security and able to use the internal tool from the device that connected to the device. And also for the IT and network staff can able to access through the switch or router remotely if they want to. And in order to achieve all of this successful project, we implement using DHCP through the access point device, web server, DNS server, and also switch router and a switch router that secure the remote management with SSH. And last but not least, we also did a lot of testing to ensure that our program or our network work smoothly, and we noticed some any problem that might happen or identify which is addressed or solved quickly. And that's all for the overall point. And we before we going to end our present, uh, I will let my friend TP will demo you about the network in the Cisco packages.
Right. So I'm going to demo you about the Cisco packet. Wait. So this is our project. As you have seen about it on our slide, it's about the TEENTECH project, a small office. So we have the router, we have the switch in the middle, and then we divide it into the three areas. The first area, and we set it as screen to recognize it as the admin or IT. We set it to the VLAN 10 and the network IP address is 192.168.1.0/26. As I told you, each department or each subnet network, we give it 64 PC or the device that they could use in each department. Since this TEENTECH startup business, it is a small one, so they they just start up, so there won't be much PC or the device that they use much. And then take a look at this yellow area. It's about the finance or HR department. We give the VLAN to 20 and the IP address is 192.168.1.64 as it continues from the admin of IP address and it also slash 26. It also has 64 devices in this department. And the last one is about the CS reception or the customer service department. So we set the VLAN to 30 and the IP address of this network is continued from the yellow area or we move as the finance or HR department. And the IP address we give it 192.168.1.128 and slash 26. So I would like to take you to look at the admin or IT department again. So in this access point, um, in this as I told you, we set uh this name to admin by 5 and we set the PSK passphrase to admin at 1 to 8. And also uh yep. So the cost of this access point, we take from this, it costs $20. And then the printer one from the admin, the configure. So this is the ACP. It's already worked. It starts from 192.168.1.1. DNS server is 192.168.1 and 1. And the PC for this admin or IT department. So it continue. Since the HCP, it helps us to generate the IP address. So as you might remember, the access point we use it dot one at the end and printer dot two, and this PC would be dot three. And the subnet mask is the same to the previous tool at 255.255.255 and .192. And the full gateway at the DNS word. And then the tablet um, the tablet, it also continue. This is the IP address that generated by the DHCP and the laptop as well. Okay, so for the department admin or IT, it worked well. So let's take a look at the finance or HR department. So let's start with the printer so 0. So um as you can see, the HCP it already assigned the full gateway. It is 192.168.1 and .65 and DNS server. Yep. And the PC, so it already worked. As it start from 192.168.1.64, right? So this PC, it got 66 and subnet mask is the same and the default gateway is 192.168.1 and .65. This is the access point. The port one, we rename it to the finance and the PSK pass is finance at 123. And as you take a look at the tablet, this is the IP address 192.168.1.69, and the subnet mask is the same, and the default gateway and DNS server is also the same. Here the tab laptop here and the smartphone. So we can assume that the finance or HR department already work. Let's take a look at the customer service department. So access point, the port one, we assign it to CS15 and the PSK press is customer at 123. And then let's take a look at the printer. So the DHCP is in work, it assigned to 131. Yes. And the PC, it is 192.168.1.1.3. And in this access point, you can see this wireless signal that they give each other. And the tablet, so the IP address, it already worked since the HCP, it helped us a lot to generate the IP address. It 192.168.1.134. Yes. I just want you to take a look all of the IP address of all of this device, and then I'm going to ping all of this, and it will be success. So okay, so let me try ping the device in their department first. So this PC, it's 192.168.1 and .3, okay? And wait, and this, so it is .2. So let's try .1, .3. So when we want to ping it, we will choose command prompt, ping 192.168.1.2. So when you see the reply from for time, it means it ping successfully. So in that department, they can ping to each other. So let's see. For the smartphone, it's 192.168.1.4. I will ping it to that PC one. So ping 192.168.1.3. It also success. So how about I ping it to another department? Let's say ping smartphone to the PC in the finance or HR department. So it 192.168.1.66. Uh, So it is also success. As you can see, the first line it said request timeout, but if we ping it again, since it already know each other, so it will be fine. Dot 1.66. So I already done the ping from admin to finance. So let's try ping in finance and finance. So in the finance it start from 64 to 100 and 26. Okay. So um let me try to ping it to the tablet in this finance. So it is 69. So ping 192.168.1.69. Yep. So it also successful when we ping it in their department, finance or HR. So let's try for the customer department. So the customer department it start from 128. Yep. So let me try to ping it to the laptop. 32. 132. 168 dot 1. So this also successful. So let me try to ping the customer to the finance. Let's say I want to ping to the smartphone at 68. 192.168.1.68. So when they ping for the first time, it will be request timeout. But if we ping it the second time, it will reply from all of those 4 lines. 192.168.1.68. So it worked fine for when we ping from customer service to the finance or HR department. And the last ping that I'm going to ping is from customer to the admin. That ping like 2.168.1 and dot 3. So to ensure it is working, I'm going to ping it again. 168 dot 3. So that's it for our demo of the Cisco packet. Thank you so much for your watching, sir.